Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Foggy Renban Frenzy. Now, I don't know why my mind does this, but every time I see the word Renban, I kind of almost read it like ribbon first, and then I correct myself and I see Renban. So to try and have a ribbon frenzy, I've got, buntings up there. We're celebrating something. And for those of you that are in the UK, you're going to be very familiar with the fact that whenever you have a street party and you've got buntings out and people are out celebrating, the fact that it is grey, it's foggy, that you're dressed up in coats is not exactly unusual, sadly for us and our weather here. Now, this particular puzzle created by Ook is dedicated to his son. So he's labeled it as something that's a little bit more approachable than some of the other puzzles that he has created. And he's creating something that is deliberately a little bit challenging for him, but not too hard. So absolutely, I'm hoping to have fun as you requested, and I'll drop a comment if I liked it. I'd be surprised if I didn't. It's got a 91% rating as of the time of this recording. Let's take a look at today's puzzle with Foggy Renban Frenzy from Ook and the rule sets. So, rules-wise, we've got standard Sudoku rules, so that means place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, column, and 3x3 box. We're familiar with this one. Then we have killer cages, Renbans, XV-Dominos, and fog. So the XV I'm going to have to get creative with, that's not a problem. Right, so killer cages. So essentially, digits in cages cannot repeat and must sum up to the value shown in the upper left corner of the cage. So let's go with this 8 cage, for example. If this cell here was a 1, then these two cells, yeah, you can see that it's coming in here. Let's just assume for a second that this is the 8 cage. If this cell here was a 1, then these two cells are going to have to add up to 7 to make up an 8. So that could be 2 and 5, for example. This cell plus whatever it is, these two cells have to add up to 4. So that's what killer cages are. No repeated digits, by the way, so keep that in mind as you look at these cages that are covered in fog. It will probably give you a hint as to the sizes of these cages. Then we have Renbans, so if you imagine that this cell here was a 2 rather than a 5, and we have a Renban. Let's again make an assumption about how far it is. Let's say it's, actually let's go with 3 cells, why not? Have a party. So that tells me that this Renban line must be created. So the purple lines, digits along a Renban must form a set of non-repeating consecutive digits in any order. That could be 1, 2, 3. So that could be a 1 and 3, for example. That would work. I just deliberately avoiding this one. It could also be 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. What I couldn't do is 2, 3, 5. That is no longer a set of consecutive digits that are not repeating. Then we have, of course, the XVs. Dominos. So since I can't see any, I'm going to be creative and say, imagine that cell here, these two cells are connected by an X. It's basically saying that these two cells must sum up to 10. So if that cell was a 2, that would have to be an 8 to make sure that it does sum up to 10. There is one other possibility that I can't exactly draw. Let's imagine that this is not an X, it's a V. That means that these two cells must sum up to 5. If that cell was a 2, that would have to be a 3. To make sure that these two cells sum up to 5. There are no negative constraints, so a 2 in here with a 3 there, and these cells summing up to 5 is not a problem. A 3 with a 7 in there, summing up to 10 is not a problem without any X's or V's being given. Now, last but not least is the fog, of course. So part of the grid is covered in fog. As correct digits are placed, such as the my assumed 1 here, then all of the surrounding fog cells will be revealed and hopefully will give us more clues about where to go next. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would all be revealed because they are adjacent, including the diagonals to this one. There's always enough information in the revealed portion of the grid to place another correct digit without guessing, and digits can be placed within the fog. So we'll keep that in mind as we try and solve today's puzzle. That's all the rules we have for today. So if you want to join this typically British street party and festivity with Renban Frenzy in the fog, in the grey, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock, see how I get on. So without repeats, that means that this 4 has to end here. And it has to be 1 and 3. Can't have a 3-cell 4 cage without repeats, because the minimum would be 1, 2, 3. They would add up to 6. That stops. An 8 cage, and you can see that it's more than 2 cells, it's at least 3, is limited to 3. If you go beyond 3, let's say a 4, minimum would be 1, 2, 3, 4. You add these up, that would be a 10. There has to be a 1 inside a 3-cell 8 cage. This is the 1. Which means these are 2 3s. That 1 3 gives me a 2 in here, a 3 in there, and to add up to 8, this has to be a 5. Lovely. 1, 2, and 3 are looking at this cell, which is adding up to 5 in this V. You can only get 1, 2, 3, or 4. That is a 4. That is a 1. This is now, interestingly, not 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I think this has to be a 6. This has to be a 5 to make sure that this Renban works. 23 cage and 3 cells is forced. This has to be 6, 8, 9. The 6 has to be in here because these cells are not 6s, they are 8, 9s. These 2 cells add up to 10. They have to be 4, 6. The way to think about 10 X's, they have to be a low digit from 1, 2, 3, or 4, and a high digit from 6, 7, 8, or 9. 1, 2, 3 being gone tells me that this is 4, 6. Now, I think if this is 4, I'm going to struggle. Let me think about this. So the maximum, because, 1, 2, and 3 are gone. So I'm trying to maximize this to see what digits would have to be. And it will break. Because even if I put a 4, and I'm going to demonstrate this, a 4 in here, well, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 5 and 6 would have to be here. And then 7 and 8. But clearly, 5 and 6, what would happen with 5 and 6, looking at this cell? It can be neither, and it can't be a 6. So that is not the 4. I didn't mean to delete all of that. That is the 6. Can I use this trick again? No, I can have a 5 in here. I can't have 4 or 5, but I could do 5, 6, 7, 8. Or, of course, I could do 6, 7, 8, 9. So what I do have on here is 7 and 8. And then 4 or 9, so 7 and 8. No. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 5. I have to have a 5. 5 is none of these cells. That's a 5. Then I have to have 4 or 9, and none of these could be a 4, so it is a 9. So this is not 8 or 9, that's the 7. This is an 8-9 pair. And this is the remaining digit, which is also 8-9. I don't actually know what it is. 44 cage, this will probably be an 8-cell cage without 1. 1, 4 in here gives me 2, 3. I'm starting to run out. 8, 9 in row 5. Well, 8, 9, I've got to have a second one in the row. Well, this is not it. So that's the other 8, 9, and then I have to place a 7. Now, if this is 1, it would be speed 2 and 3. Can't be. That is a 3. That is a 1. That can't be a 9 anymore. Otherwise, that would be a 1, and it's not available. So that would have to be 8. That would have to be 2. And this has to be quite a lengthy Renban here. But we'll, to be able to join up the 2 and 8, we'll have to figure that out in a bit. So this could be 2, 4, or it could be 4, 5. 4 and 5 both see this cell. That is a 2. That is not a 1, so this is 4. Sorry, I eliminated the 1 as an option as in 1, 2, 3. I should have mentioned that. 1, 2, 3, 4 are done. 5 is up here. In fact, this is 5, 6. And this is 7, 9, which gives me an 8, gives me a 9, which gives me an 8 up here. Allows me to place a digit, which is a 3. 7 and 9 to join them has to be an 8. And this is the rest of it to be able to join up with the 2 and 8. So I need 3, 4, 5, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is entirely forced. No 3s in here, but we'll come to that in a second. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No 3s. It's quite unusual of me, I know, to pencil mark quite so heavily. Forget these for a second. Let's just focus on this at least 3-cell cage. It doesn't have to end, that's the trick. I could go right, so I could do 4, 5 with 1 and 2, for example. Specifically 2 and 1 because of this 2. So 4, 5 works. I'm going to assume 4, 6 with a 2 in here works. 4, 7 with a 1 in here works. 5, 6 as an 11 with a 1. 5, 7 doesn't work. And 6, 7 doesn't work. So 7 unfortunately still does with the 4. 4 and 7. Yeah, that's probably not the easiest way forward. This is the low digit on this 10 cage because you can see 9, 8, 7, and 6 all in this cell. So this is the low digit. This is the high digit. It's not a 2 because that would be an 8, which is not available. So it's 1, 3, or 4, and it would have to be 6, 7, or 9. This doesn't feel like it either. The 44 cage, I did say will have to be 8 cells long, and it's covered in fog. But the thing is, I can't tell necessarily that these cells are not in it. It's usually the top left one, so I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a ton of options. I haven't done anything with this Renban, but I also don't see the end of it. You can see just how far apart these digits can be if you don't see how big this Renban is. So it's got to be the 12 cage, and I'm missing something. Yes, I am missing something. What digits do I not have on this Renban? The answer is 1, 2, and 9. They are all down here. Can't be a 9 inside this cage. It's 1 or 2. This is not 1. This is not 2, just Sudoku. Now, this helps, I think. It's restricted it quite a bit. Thing is, I could still do 4, 5, 2, 1. I could still do 4, 6, and 2. Yeah, I still have a lot of options, 4, 7, and 1. I know that there is a 3 on here with 3 of 4, 5, 6, 7. So the 44 cage that's missing a 1, we know it's none of these. We know that the 1 is in here. The 2 is in there. The 9, it could be anywhere. And I'm also assuming that this is not part of it, the cage. I don't know if this is an allowed move, for example, so. Huh. Ook, I don't know about you, but this is suddenly feeling very hard again. So the rest of this column, just seems to be my best bet at the moment, is 5, 7, 8, 9. Again, I don't know the size of this Renban. What am I missing? Eight is in here. I can see that 1, because the 44 cage is definitely heading in here. The absence of no repeats means to get to 44, you have to use all of the digits 2 through to 9. So there's definitely no 1 in here, definitely no 1 in there, and because of the 1, 2, 9, definitely no 1 in here. So that's a fair deduction. Now 1 and 2 are definitely up here, which is starting to get tricky for this Renban. If it swerves, it could be just a 2-cell Renban. You know, I could do 8-7, 9-5, and that would be fine. It's 1, 2, 3, more specifically, because of 1, 2, and 3, which gives me 7, 8, 9 in here, and no, hang on, and a 4. And this is not a 9. It's definitely a 4 in here. Not there. There. Definitely a 4 in here now. 6. It's got to be in there. This really doesn't feel like the right way forward, but not sure I have much of a choice at the moment. I did say this is 5, 5, 7, 8, or 9. As is this cell. Other than seeing that this is a 4. So essentially, I have 4 with 2 of 7, 8, or 9. 5, 7, 8, or 9. And the 7 has to be in here because of this 7. I don't know if this is forcing this to be 7, 8, 9, 5. Because I can't see what the Renban is doing. Does it say anything about the Renban's forking? No. Doesn't disallow it. So 5, 8, and 9, we have 2 of them in here. No, we need something else. 4. Let's not forget about the 4. This cell here, again, I don't know the size of this Renban. No, I must be missing something. So what did we say this is? So I said I have 2 of 5, 7, 8, and 9. And therefore down here is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Critically, it doesn't include 1 or 2. So this can't be 4, 5. I did say 4, 5, 1, 2 would have worked, and it doesn't. 2 and the 1 can't repeat. And the 2 and 1 can't. Yeah. Wake up, Sleuth. Come on. In general, because this is quite a large set. It's not 1, 2, or 3. Somehow I excluded the 4. Yes, because of the 1, 2, 3 forcing a 4 down there. So this is at least a 5. And because this is at least 4, 5, this is not part of the cage. This has to be in the cage. This is a 3-cell cage. Right. 4, 5, too low. That would have to be a 3. The problem is a bunch of other options do work, including 4 and 7, and 5 and 6. And it's the fact that I could have 2 different pairs working that makes this very tricky. I must be missing some Sudoku again. And I can see that this is 5, 7, 8. Because it's not 9. And we know that this Renban is made up of low digits, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 4, and 5 are not here. I mean, I could do 1, 2, 3. Let me actually think about this one. Maybe that's, I mean, I haven't really thought about it. This could be fresh. 1 would work with 2 and 3. And I guess 2 would work. Oh no, 2 wouldn't with 1, 3, but I could, and 2 wouldn't in general, because that would have to be, it can't be 1 or 4, and I need 2 cells that are consecutive with the 2. Unless, of course, the Renban is a giant one and I have the 1 or 4 somewhere else. 9's not here. It can be. I mean, even if I can't imagine the 9 is here. Because even if that's 4, I would need 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 is like a ridiculous shape. So it's much more likely that the 9 is corner pencil marked in here. And much more likely there is a much easier solution that I'm just not seeing again. I also haven't thought too much about this Renban. So I need to essentially have 1 of 4, 5 and 1 of 6, 7 in here. It's very odd because 4, 5 doesn't work. That would have to be 3, and 6, 7 is too big. Then I have 1 of 4, 5, 1 of 6, 7 with a 3. Four. Dear oh dear. 6, 7 doesn't work. 7, 5 doesn't work. Nobody saw this. Probably should edit this video and just cut it down a bit. Sorry about that. Yeah, the 44 cage does go left. So that's not the one, that's the one. That can't be a 5. This has to be a low digit with a high digit. That's 4, that's 6. These are not 4s. That's not a 6. 5, 7, 8. That is also 5, 7, 8, 9. A little bit awkward. This has to include a 7 because there's nobody else in the column. That is not a 7. This is 5, 8, 9. Two of 5, 8, 9 with a 4. Right, come on, let's pick up the pace a bit. This is just a bit silly to be struggling with this puzzle like this. 5, 6. So essentially I have another 7, 9 with two and 8. One is over here. Don't know what's going on. Let me just think about this for a second. What is this X telling me? What does it break? 1, 9 looks fine. 3, 7 looks fine. 4, 6 looks fine. Other than a 1 in here, I can't force anything else. I need more information about what's going on in here. So down there is 3, 7. 3 has to be in these two cells. Sorry, the 3s are lining up as well as the 7s. Or the way to look at it is where else would 3 and 7 go in row 9. So the 3s and the 7s are down here, which also means that is not a 3. It's not a 1 either. This Renban is probably next. And I did say 2 is a bit of a struggle, because that couldn't be 1, but is that the Renban? Quite possibly. So I mean, even if it is the Renban, it's a fairly lengthy Renban, but I mean, I still couldn't do, if that's two, that would be 3. I could do 4 in here. I couldn't even do 5, 6. But I'm not sure I can assume it's connected just yet. If there is an 8, okay, so I am going to just fully pencil mark this now. 3, 5, 7, 8. Not 3, not 5 or 8, and not 5 or 7. 3 or 8. How are we doing for time? 21 minutes. I don't know, Ook. I don't think this is the approachable puzzle you marketed it to be. It feels much tougher for me for some reason. And, you know, not seeing that 4 for ages didn't help, but it's... Seven has to be on here. I mean, again, if it's like a gigantic Renban, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I could have whatever I want on there. Including a 1. I'm going to cheat a little bit again. Enable pencil mark checking. Remove a bunch of things that I should have seen, which hasn't exactly solved much. Nope, not helpful. Right, I am going to have to pencil mark more than I like to. So in addition to the 1, I have another 1 of 3, 4, 7, and then another 5, 6. And this is not the 5 or 6. This is 1, 3, 4, 7. And then it's just ludicrous pencil marking all of this. Then I have 2 of 3, 4, 7 and the 5, 6. And again, that is not 5, 6. That is 3, 4, 7. And then I have 7, 9 with 2 and 8. We know that these are low digits, such as 1, 2, 3, 4, not 5. Two's not here. 2 is one of 2 cells. That is not a 2. That is not a 2 either. Three is not here, but I mean, it can be here. And again, not exactly helpful. 2 is in this quadruple. What happens if this is 2? 4, 3, 4, 7. This 4. I mean, this Renban, like, there has to be something in here that allows me to just work it out. I'm just not seeing for some reason. If you think about these rows, that feels like the best option I have on the table at the moment. How big can this Renban be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, 6, 7, 8. I mean, it would be a very funny looking Renban if it's not just straight lines. But, I mean, even if it is like a trident of some sort, well, not trident, it's only got 2 prongs. Dident? I just can't see a 9 on any of these. So, 2, not 3s, not 4, not 5, 6, not 7s, 8, 9. That's my options for these 2 cells. I just cannot believe it's 9. Remove that, gives me 2, 6, gives me a 4, and it is joint up. That can still be, no, 2 is gone. So that is 3, that is 2. I'm not sure if that is the right path. I think, once again, I'm missing something. Wouldn't be surprising, but let me know in the comments if you found a better solution than what I've just done. Need a 1 in this box, and it can't be inside the cage. That's a 1. That's the remaining 8. That gives me 5, 7, 3. That is not a 5. Only place for a 7 is in here. 4, 7 gives me 2, 5, 6. That can't be 2 or 6. That would have to be 5, 6. No, 5, 2, 6, and 9. You know, when you're proceeding with extreme caution, your voice just naturally gets quieter. Not 6, not 4. In fact, not 1 either. That is 3. That is 7. And is that, yeah, that is the 2. And that is something we do know. 9. These 3 cells are also known. They are 1, 4, and 6. Not 6. This Renban is now connected. Can't imagine it's a 1. It could be a 6. It can't be a 9, I don't think, because that looks, I mean, the assumption that I'm making is that these Renbans could be forked. And I don't know if that's a bad assumption. Usually shown as a purple line digits along a Renban line must form. So there's nothing about it saying, no, it can't be forked. Anyway, that's not a 3. I don't think I can remove anything else just yet. That's not the 7, and I needed a 7 up here. That's the 7. That's not a 5. That's an 8-9 pair. That is, so that has to be 6. That has to be 8. That is not a 6. That's a 1-4 pair now. That is not the 8. That is the 8. This is now 2, 7, 9. That is not the 7. This Renban is now heading left as such. We'll come to that in a second. These are, well, I needed another 8, 9, which is not here. So it's 4 or 5. So it's 4, 5, 8, or 9. In fact, the fact that there's an 8 just resolves all of this. That's 9, that's 8, that's 9, that's 8. So in here I need 4, 5, 9. And I don't need the corner pencil marks anymore. And this is not a 5. I don't have these resolved, I don't think, but this Renban is now probably solvable. Let me just see what I can remove that's easy from the row. If that word is even appropriate for today's puzzle. Let's think about this. Can I have a 1 on here? No, because it would need a 2. Yeah, there's no 2 in any of these. No 2 in any of these. That's not a 1. Feels unlikely that there's a 9, because the 9 would have to be joined with an 8, and none of these could be an 8. So there is no 9 here. 9 is in one of these two cells. So essentially not 1, not 9, not 2, not 3. So this is, you know, the minimum is 4. It could be 5. It could be 6, 7, 8. Right, 4, 5, 6. What does that help me with my 5 and 6? It tells me that this is not a 5-6 pair. There's definitely a 4 on here, which puts a 1, a 4, a 2, not 2, a 9, and a 2, and a 7, and a 9. And does that help me more? Kind of. Not 9. That is the 9. So 4, 5 with a definite 4 gave me a 5, a 4. No 5s. 4, 6 pair gives me a 5, a 6. 4, 6. That is not a 4. Could I do 3, 4, 5, 6? Yes. Could I do 4, 5, 6, 7? Yes. Not a 4. 1, 3, 7. Interesting. And then this top line here is 1, can only be in one cell. 2, it could be 3. In fact, that is not a 3 because of this 3. Can't be 4. Could be 5 in this corner. In fact, I do need a 5. That is the only place for a 5. That's the only place for the Renban. This is 1 or 3. It is not a 1. That's a 3. That's 1. That's 3. That's 7. That's 1. That's 4. That's 7. That's 6. That's 4. Interesting puzzle. So, I mean, forget the 5 minutes. I should really just, you know, cut onto the floor somewhere around this 4, struggling with the 12th page for so long. I don't know if you had to make an assumption that the Renban lines are not forking to be able to solve this. Which I kind of did around here to be able to sort of remove the 9 from a few options and limit this to 6 pair. But there may be something else that I've entirely missed. I'm really looking forward to the comments. Regardless, I hope that you enjoyed the puzzle. Maybe the video too. And, well, tougher puzzles coming the weekend. See you soon. Bye-bye for now.